was a relentless percussion on the roof of the old sedan, each drop a silver needle in the oppressive darkness. The wipers fought a losing battle, smearing the deluge across the glass. Behind the wheel, Arthur felt the miles and the late hours settle deep into his bones. The road was a slick black ribbon, disappearing into a night that seemed to have swallowed the world whole. Then, a shape materialized in the sweeping glare of his headlights, a lone figure, drenched and unmoving on the shoulder of the empty highway. It was a girl, her hand raised in a silent, desperate plea. Common sense screamed at him to keep driving, to lock the doors and not look back. But something in her solitary stance broke through his fatigue. He pulled over, the tires hissing on the wet asphalt. She slid into the passenger seat without a word, bringing a pocket of impossible cold into the car. Water dripped from her pale hair onto the worn leather seat. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice as faint as a distant radio signal. Her eyes seemed to hold a storm within them. She gave him an address, just a few miles down the road. An unnerving silence settled between them, broken only by the engine's hum and the storm's fury. She was shivering, a fine, constant tremor. Acting on instinct, Arthur shrugged off his heavy wool jacket and draped it over her small shoulders. She offered a fragile smile in return. He turned his attention back to the road, navigating a sharp curve. "We're almost there," he said, glancing back to the passenger seat. It was empty. The air was still cold where she had been, and his jacket lay neatly folded on the seat, but the girl was gone. The door hadn't opened. She had simply vanished. A cold dread, slicker than the rain on the road, crept up his spine. He drove the remaining mile in a fog of disbelief, pulling up to the address she'd given him. It was a small, tidy house, a single light glowing in a downstairs window like a lonely star. He walked up the path, the rain soaking through his shirt, his heart hammering against his ribs. The door was opened by an elderly man with kind, tired eyes. Arthur stammered through his story. The girl, the rain, her sudden disappearance. The old man's face didn't register surprise, only a deep, familiar sorrow. "You'd better come in," he said, his voice heavy with a grief that time had failed to heal. Inside, a woman sat by the fire, a framed photograph in her hands. "It was the girl from the road. That's our Eleanor," the old man said softly. 10 years ago tonight, she was killed in a crash on that curve. A driver found her jacket in his car, just like you." The woman looked up, her eyes glistening. "Every year, on this night," she whispered, "she tries to come home."